Today we're going to be talking about a very controversial subject, and that is the use of elephants in elephant shows, and particularly using elephants to paint. It's a very controversial subject, and there is a big division of opinion as to whether it should be done or not. Now, there are some stories that have been spread around the internet regarding elephant paintings and generally the using of elephants in elephant shows, and there is a misguided belief that it's actually cruel and that the elephants are actually being abused when they're doing the shows. This is actually a myth which has been propagated by many people that actually want to discredit reputable elephant camps for their own agenda. Many of the videos that are posted where it shows abuse to some young elephants, some calves, they've been put in small cages and they are tortured. Now, I cannot deny that it hasn't been done, but this is not the process that is used to train elephants to paint. Many people are under the misconception of this thing known as pajan, or crushing of the elephant's spirit to actually be able to become submissive to humans and do their beckoning and call. Now, this may have been true in the past when elephants were caught out of the wild and were broken. Often they would break the elephant by either putting it in a small cage or actually having it fall into a pit onto some very sharp poles which would pierce the elephant and injure it very badly. Then the captor would nurse it back to health, and then the elephant would have the belief that the person that helped them was actually a friend, and this was a way that they would actually get the elephant to trust them and then be able to train the elephant more easily. But now elephants are actually in the parks. They're not taken from the wild. It's an illegal practice to take elephants out of the wild, and it's very heavily monitored. But that doesn't mean that you may get some unscrupulous operators operating on the Thai-Burmese-Lao border and actually poaching these elephants and putting them through the pajan with the intention to sell them later to operators. Now, I don't say that this doesn't happen, but I haven't heard in recent times where elephants have been taken out of the wild and basically broken and then sold to elephant parks. This is a ludicrous accusation that people are saying all these elephants have gone through pajan, which is a process which is usually used for wild elephants, which isn't done anymore because elephants don't need to be taken out of the wild. There are elephants that are actually born in elephant parks, and they are taught from a very early age how to do things, so that there's no abuse as such, like these activists are claiming, made against the elephants. But by making these claims and frightening everybody and making people just have a knee-jerk reaction and ban elephant parks in general in preference to going to these more natural type sanctuaries, elephant sanctuaries they call them, they're actually just harming the elephants themselves, because many of the elephants that are in the elephant parks cannot be released back into the wild just because they're so used to having food provided for them by humans, and the areas which they are released back into are so small. Elephants require large areas to get this food, but there just isn't enough jungle to have these elephants which are now in captivity released back into. They would also be competing with the wild elephants, and they would not have a chance to compete with them because they don't have the same skills that wild elephants have, being accustomed to getting their food all the time from humans. So elephants are actually well treated at elephant parks. The other parks which promote these sanctuaries, they're only just trying to get your tourist dollar. They make disparaging statements against legitimate park operators who do treat their elephants very well, to have them go to their so-called sanctuaries, maybe as a volunteer or paying some high price to to be a volunteer there. They don't have volunteer workers for free. You actually pay to be a volunteer, and they also solicit donations through various websites, where the other side of the coin, where the elephant park owners that run the elephant shows, they don't solicit money. They get their customers through tourism. The other elephant parks, they do have like a tourist arm to their operations, but basically it's all about getting free workers or having those workers pay to work for them, and then solicit large donations from wealthy individuals who may not actually visit these parks, or sanctuaries rather, but just donate them because of the belief that they're actually helping the elephants. But they're just lining their own pockets. It's just another method of getting the tourist dollar. So just be wary of that. Don't be duped by these elephant sanctuaries that disparage reputable park owners. Now, regarding the use of bullhooks when elephants paint, this belief that the elephants are beaten if they do not do the paintings nicely or do a wrong stroke is a total fabrication of the truth. The truth is, when an elephant paints, in the beginning, their paintings aren't very good, but they don't get beaten because they're not very good. They just do another painting another day, and they just practice in honing the skills to make their paintings better. I've actually taken many videos of elephants painting, and I've never once, in the numerous number of years that I've taken videos at close range, I've never seen the abuse that these activists are claiming. I believe that many of these activists have never actually been to elephant parks. They've just read a few blog posts here and there, and then they come to this wild conclusion, this fanciful conclusion, that elephant paintings are a bad thing. They should be stopped, and that any person who promotes these elephant shows or elephant paintings or sells them is the scum of the earth. This is a total naive way of looking at this whole dynamic. Basically, the dynamics is this, ladies and gentlemen. You've got two types of parks. You've got sanctuaries, and you've got the elephant parks where they do elephant shows. Now, because the sanctuaries claim that they don't abuse their elephants, and they don't use chains, and they don't use bullhooks, they are actually running a sanctuary which is very dangerous for people to visit, because they have no way of really controlling elephants. These sanctuaries actually put their visitors at risk. They have no real safety measures in place. They let the elephants run amok without any real controls. Now, on the other side of the coin, you have the elephant parks where they have the mahouts who do have the bullhooks, but they do not use those bullhooks to beat the elephant to do something. It's only there as a prompter, really. I mean, an elephant, if it really wants to bowl you over, there's nothing you can do to stop it for a full bull. If that comes charging you, there's no way that you're going to be able to stop it with a bullhook. And to think that the mahouts actually use these bullhooks to torture the elephant is absolute nonsense. I will put up a video later on showing you that some of the claims made by these activists regarding bullhooks is totally fabricated. On one of the comments on my YouTube channel, they actually claimed that the bullhook was razor sharp and you could actually use it to cut meat. Now, I have a video which proves that this is totally untrue. I'm trying to rip myself apart with it, and it's not happening because it's just a load of nonsense what they're saying. The bullhooks do have a bit of a pointed end, but that would be equivalent to like pinching. They would prod the elephant, and it would be like a pinch, as an angry mother may pinch its child. Now, would you consider that as abuse? Well, some people might say yes, but most people probably wouldn't. I mean, because it's not a continued thing. It's not a repetitious thing where they would be pinching the child continuously. And it's the same with the elephants. They're not prodding or jabbing or poking the elephants in the eyes like these activists say all the time and blinding their elephants and doing these things. I mean, come on, the elephant park operators run a business, and if they did things like that, people wouldn't want to go and see them because they'd see that what the activists are saying are true. But the state of the affairs is that that's not happening, and the activists are just trying to scare people away. They're using scare tactics to destroy the elephant tourism business in Thailand. Now, tourism is a major business in Thailand, and it affects the economy in a very big way. So when people boycott Thailand because of some cases promoting these fabricated stories about cruelty to elephant, what they do with the bullhooks and the chains, this is just hurting innocent people who are trying to make an income. The elephant parks, they support large communities, and there's a lot of spin-offs to the local people because of the tourism. Now these activists are just looking at, oh, we should free all the elephants and put them in the wild. It's unrealistic, because there are just too many elephants and they're used to being looked after by people. The bullhooks are not as deadly and as evil as these activists make out. Once again, I'd like to thank you. Please don't forget to click the like button, share the video and subscribe to this YouTube channel so that I can keep you up to date about what's happening in the Thailand elephant tourism industry. Once again, thanks for watching.